Alright, now I'm obligated to do limes. But what about limes? It's not like limeade is a super popular thing. I guess they're used in a lot of Mexican and Indian cuisine, and I guess pickled limes are really popular in places that aren't the US. Oh, and key lime pie. I guess this one won't really be so much as one topic as much as it is a bunch of lime topics in general. I just want to make something about limes so lime people don't feel left out. Shoutouts to Lime and Dime, I think that's how you pronounce it, who commented on the orange juice video, and inspiring this one. As usual, let's start with history. Real quick, the etymology is kind of odd, as it comes from a similar root to loam, or fertile soil. Just kidding, that's for limestone. I definitely didn't think it was the one for fruit or anything and try to find out the root on Google before realizing which was actually the stone. They just kind of called limes lima. The history for limes is spread across all the different lime pages on Wikipedia, so sorry if I missed anything. It's not exactly known when limes were started, but it's theorized that limes first grew in Indonesia and other parts of Southeast Asia, and then brought over to northern Africa by Arab traders around 1000 CE. Yes, I know I used AD in a previous video, I kinda forgot they changed it. They were then moved to Spain with Arabs around 1200 or 1300. Side note, the article I found this on, WH Foods, called them Arabian Moors, while Moors aren't really a kind of people. It's a broad term that was used to generally describe many groups of people, including the Arabs, Northern African Berbers, and Muslim Europeans. Limes then came over to the New World, or what we know as America, with Columbus in the 1400s, late 1400s more specifically, and were planted in the tropical climates of Caribbean countries, as that's where limes thrive. The British Army were the first to figure out what the heck scurvy was and started using lemons to prevent it. They made a bad move and switched over to limes. Why does nobody like lemons? I don't get it. Anyway, the knowledge that citrus prevented scurvy was a close-kept military secret, as being able to stay out at sea for long stretches of time was a huge advantage for the British Navy. Who knew limes were actually the Brits' secret weapon? They ended up earning the nickname limey because of this too. Now, I'm no botanist, but the history of lime variants is super interesting and complex. I'll try to break this down easy and slow. First off, key limes. One of the biggest kinds of limes produced, and likely the one you think of when you think lime, assuming you live in America like me and don't study culinary arts, specifically limes, botany, or any other kind of lime-based profession. I want to save this information for a general citrus video, but it's going here. Key limes were originally cultivated in the Florida Keys and were actually a crossbreed of two kinds of citrus fruit. The citrus micrantha, a kind of papaya, I think that's how you pronounce it, and the citron. The citron is actually part of many different kinds of citrus fruits, like lemons and limes, and is super interesting all on its own. I'll try to make a video on it if I can find enough. Key limes are generally spherical in shape, as opposed to the more ovular shapes of lemons and other lime variants. They grow from a shrub, and certain dwarf varieties can be grown in winter months and indoors. They were also called Mexican limes in California and seen as weeds by lemon farmers. Finally, some recognition for the best fruit of all time. Another of the three most common kinds of limes is the kefir lime. It is simply a relative of the papaya, likely from some common ancestor. The etymology for this one is uncertain. Kefir is an ethnic slur in Africa for black Africans. Maybe I shouldn't be saying it. It's also called a macrat lime by people who don't like being racist, which is what I'm going to call it from now on. And Thai limes in South Africa. These limes are used medicinally in shampoos and are believed to kill head lice, but they also contain significant amounts of furanocoumarins in the peel and pulp, which causes phytophotodermatitis, a skin condition in which large blisters form on the area of contact. The condition has been mistaken for child abuse. The most widely produced lime globally is the Persian lime, which is just a key lime and lemon hybrid, with Mexico being the largest producer. They are also called seedless limes, bear's limes with two S's, and Tahiti limes. They were originally grown in Persia, now Iran and southern Iraq. That one was pretty simple. Let's go through some other simple limes. The limequat is a mix between a lime and a kumquat. The musk lime is a mix between a kumquat and a mandarin orange. Presumably, the limequat isn't made using musk limes. The Rangpur lime is a mix between a mandarin and a citron. There are also a lot of limes that aren't citrus fruits, such as the Spanish lime, distinct from the Mexican lime, which is another name for key limes, the wild lime, and the other wild lime, because there are two kinds. The first is odd, as there is very little of it online. The USDA has classified it as an Adelia ricinella L, but it doesn't have a Wikipedia page. They're native to northern, yeah, that's how you pronounce it. They're native to northern South America and some of the Caribbean, but they seem to be small and potentially inedible. There's also the Xanthoxylum fagara. It is a flowering plant, and the fruit it produces being called wild limes, but they are not actually limes. The bark and leaves have been used as a spice with odor similar to that of limes, which is likely where the name comes from. Today, lemons and limes are produced at a rate of around 20 million metric tons a year. They are used in all kinds of things, but mostly food. Lime extracts are used in essential oils, perfumes, aromatherapy, and cleaning chemicals. But that's where that list ends. Lime scent is said to uplift and invigorate you, but that's from the people who sell the essential oils, so take it with a grain of salt. According to sleep.org, lemon is actually better for that invigorating smell, so take that, essential oilists who think lime is better. Other than smell, its use in foods is pretty widespread. Limes have more sugars and acids than lemons. Lime juice can be used to make limeade, which has a much sharper and sweeter taste than lemonade, and cocktails. Limeade is usually just lime juice in some simple syrup and water, but can have extra sugar or honey. Cherry limeade is also pretty popular. Sonic, the restaurant, uses Sprite to make its cherry limeade. Lime juice is also used to make limbu pani. If you'll remember back to the lemon episode, nimbu pani was made with lemons. Well, as it turns out, limes can also be used in nimbu pani, though this just confuses me more on the name. Here, nimbu pani is spelled with two A's, but I'm pretty sure it's still the same as the shikanji in nimbu pani. A pickled lemon or lime is seen as a staple part of some traditional meals in southern India. There are a few kinds of pickled limes, like sweetened lime pickle, salted pickle, and lime chutney. I think that's how you pronounce that. In cooking, the acidity of the juice and the aroma of the zest are its main claim to fame. It's used heavily in Mexican, Vietnamese, and Thai dishes, such as lime soup, which sounds disgusting, and some guacamole dishes. Dried limes are used in Persian cuisine and Iraqi cuisine, as well as Persian Gulf-style baharat, a spice mixture. Of course, you know about key lime pie, but it seems its origins are similar to orange juice, a product made for marketing and simply using the few ingredients available. Unfortunately, a bill in 1965 failed to go through that would fine anyone who tried to sell a key lime pie made with non-key limes. Desert lime is used in Australia to make marmalade. Limes have slightly less citric acid than lemons, which makes it even weirder as to why the British Navy would switch to limes, but about twice that of grapefruit and 5 times that of oranges. The condition I touched on earlier, phytophotodermatitis, can come simply from contact with a lime peel, then going directly out into the sun. Interestingly, it's also called Lyme disease with an I, which isn't Lyme disease with a Y. Oddly, the peel is 1 or 2 orders of magnitude more likely to give you the disease than the pulp, with Persian limes being the worst. That's pretty much all I could find about limes. Well, not all I could find about limes, but all that was interesting. Limes are so weird. This took so long to write, maybe 2 or 2.5 hours, or 3 hours maybe, because information on limes is so diverse and spread across all of Wikipedia and other websites. For this one video, I went to like 11 Wikipedia pages and some other websites all in the description, all for limes. They're certainly very interesting, but I will always prefer lemons, personally. I definitely know more about limes than I probably should as a cleaning attendant at a casino, but here I am. I hope you enjoyed this one just as much as the rest. It took me the most time to write, but I definitely enjoyed making it. I don't know how to end this.